But nonetheless, let's talk about one big event. Let's talk about Teamlease. The consecration ceremony of the idol of Ram at the Ram temple in Ayodhya will take place on the 22nd of January. Now, as per media reports, the combined hospitality, travel and tourism industry has created 20,000 jobs in Ayodhya. To assess the pickup in the staffing demand, we have with us Kartik Narayan, who is the CEO of Teamlease, joining in. Kartik, hi, welcome to the show. Well, all the preparations are made, so we know what the staffing numbers could probably already be. But what is your assessment in terms of the job creation which has taken place in Ayodhya? How many new jobs were created? And what is the expectation going forward?
Yeah, hi. So our expectation, temples, per se in India have never been just that, right? So they've always been the center of commerce, art, culture, and so much more. So we are expecting that to start with in the first 6 months, close to about 45 lakh visitors kind of coming into Ayodhya. And basis that, a number of, permanent and temporary jobs getting created, right from infrastructure development, hotels, accommodation, adventure tourism, vertical tourism, so on and so forth. This typically comes around in temple towns, right? So our expectation is, close to about 20,000 odd jobs, which are getting created both in infrastructure and hotel tourism, etc.
20,000 number is, Kartik, just a temporary number as the launch takes place, the opening takes place, and staffing is needed for this particular event? Or do you think that you could build on to this number? Is that permanent hiring will pick up as well over the next couple of months?
No, I think permanent hiring will pick up over the next several few months and years as well. And I think we only need to look at some of the past examples for us to kind of get an idea. To give you a sense, for example, in the Kashi Vishwanath temple in 2019 hardly used to get about 50-60 lakh visitors a year. Now it's close to 7.2 crore visitors a year, right? So if you see that an example, you can imagine the sheer number of hotels, tourism, transport, that will be required for us to kind of cater to that. So what I'm sharing with you is, what our folks who are going to get employed in some of the temporary accommodations and so on and so forth, right? Hotel and tourism, which are coming up right now. But eventually this number will go up significantly, over the next several years as the sheer number of people who come to Ayodhya, crosses close to 2 to 3 lakh a day. And that's our estimation.
Okay, can you just give us the numbers again? From 20,000 jobs, say we was to have this conversation 1 year down the line, 3 years down the line, and then 5 years down the line, same time. What would be the additional jobs? 1 year, 3 years, and 5 years?
Yeah, I would assume saying in a 5-year period, close to about 1 lakh jobs, additional, minimum, which will get created, right? And just look at this, sense we're talking about. The largest temple in India at this point in time, in that sense, would be, let's say, if we take Tirupati, would probably get about 50,000 to 1 lakh visitors at peak, right? Our estimation of Ayodhya is close to anywhere between 1 lakh to 2 lakh a day. So that's a significant, number, and therefore infrastructure will be required to be built for that. So as we speak, roughly for every 100 visitors, we estimate about 2 to 3 jobs get created. So you can imagine at 5% of about, let's say, 10 lakh visitors start coming, every month to start off with. That's, easily 20,000 odd jobs getting created. So I would say temporary and permanent put together, easily, what 50,000 in 3 years and about 1 lakh jobs plus direct employment would get created in and around Ayodhya. I would say not just Ayodhya, but even the satellite towns around it, over the next 3 to 5 years.
Wow, that is those are some crazy numbers. 1 lakh jobs to be created 5 years from now, just in Ayodhya, right? And you were talking about the Kashi Vishwanath temple, 7.2 crore visitors annually. That's not a joke. But tell me, for your own business, right? For Teamlease particularly, what does this mean? I mean, for your shareholders would like to understand, how would this contribute to your business meaningfully?
Yeah, so some part, obviously, it will get translated in terms of, gig workers who get hired, if not directly, but in the tourism sector, in e-commerce, and all of this kind of takes off. And therefore, it will also translate in some, very difficult to kind of put a direct correlation to it. But indirectly, some of the enterprises whom we cater to will obviously get benefited, by this domestic tourism boom that will take place, is already taking place. And therefore, it will add to Teamlease as well.
Okay. Can you give us an idea in terms of what the faith-based or religion-based tourism industry size is in India? And I'm sure that this will probably have a ripple effect in terms of other sites in India which would probably be visited on a religious basis. And hence, what the size of the industry is today and what do you probably expect it to grow to, say again, 5 years from now?
Yeah. So the domestic tourism, market overall, religious tourism is much more tougher to kind of, be able to pinpoint. Is closely about $40 billion, right? 87% of all tourists in India are domestic tourists. Only 13% are, international tourists. And this industry is growing anywhere between, 15 to 19% year on year, right? So there's a significant upside for all of us to see. In fact, Ayodhya in that sense is significantly different as compared to other cities because Varanasi is an old city. I think there was a limit to what road expansion could have potentially happened. But despite that, I think the infrastructure was significantly upgraded for, like I shared with you earlier, 7 crore people visiting them. Ayodhya, we're expecting much more infrastructure development. You should have seen, I think the Ayodhya master plan of 2031 is envisaging close to about 85,000 odd crore investments to be made to significantly upgrade all means of transportation and infrastructure related to tourism. And hence, you can expect saying it is being prepared for the sheer number of, tourists who are going to visit, Ayodhya and the surrounding places, right?
Okay, tourism, housing, infrastructure, there's a complete ecosystem is booming over there, right? There was a report which indicated that there's a complete planned greenfield township that is being created at the moment there. So not just staffing, not just jobs, but you have an entire social infrastructure that's being created in Ayodhya as well. So that will, of course, have economic positive ramifications too. Thanks a lot for joining us and just putting, throwing some light on the big event that is upon us over the next couple of days. Let's slip into a quick break. On the other side, ICICI Prudential has been one of the biggest stocks that have been losing today on the back of disappointing Q3 earnings. It has recovered from the lows, but more on that coming up.